everyone, it's Darby with rejoiceandcreate.com, and this is the project I'd like to share with you today. And it's a cute little Halloween treat pouch. And I made it using the Pillow Box dies from the Trim Your Stockings Thinlits die. It's a really cute set, and I haven't used the stocking yet, and I think that'd be very cute, but I'm going to go ahead and use the Pillow Box die this time. So I'll go ahead and get that out, maybe. As well as the little rectangular tag die. Now I also use the Spooky Cat stamp set for the eat at your own risk on the tag, as well as decorating it with some of the bubbles from the potion bottles. But if you notice the cat stamp, that this cat stamp doesn't look like this one, you'll see that I also used the Spooky Cat Designer Series paper. And there are a lot of interesting Halloween designs, but one of the fun ones is the cat. There's a paper with cats on it that fit the cat punch. So you can take the cat punch and punch out one of these cats to use on your projects. Now I counted on the paper, and across the paper there were 31 complete cats that you could punch out with your punch. So if you're in a hurry and you need to make for a classroom, punching out 31 cats would be a very quick way to decorate a Halloween treat pouch. And that's what we're going to do with this one. I'll use the black cat next time though. Alright, let me show you how I did it. Okay, for this project we need 2 pieces of Designer Series paper that are 3 inches by 6 inches. So if you have a 6 by 6 paper, you can cut that in half, or certainly you can cut it down from the 12 by 12 inch paper, and that's what I did. This is the Spooky Cat Designer Series paper. I'm using the back side of the paper I used last time. A piece of black shimmer ribbon, that's about 4 inches. A piece of black baker's twine, that's about 10 inches. A scrap of Very Vanilla for the tag, and the cat from the Spooky Cat paper, and we'll just take the punch and punch out the cat. So he's all ready. To make the tree pouch, I used the Pillow Box from the Trim Your Stockings Thinlit set, and I only cut part of the way up though. I only needed one part of it for the bottom, but I didn't want the top part, and I didn't want the part with a notch because I have to glue those together, so I don't want the notch in there. So how I did it was I put the piece of paper down, and I actually snugged one of the cutting sides right against it, and you can kind of feel it catch on the lip of it. And then I pushed it down so that bottom tab was off of the paper. So I kind of snugged it down until the bottom is off. So that's how I lined it up. I kind of hooked one lip of that over one side of the paper, and then I pushed it down until I was right at the bottom of the curved part and the tag was hanging off. And then what I did is I cut it only up to right before that top part of the pillow box. So I didn't want that. I wanted the pouch a bit, and I only wanted the bottom part of the pillow box. And this is the way I ran it through my Big Shot. Okay, so now I've run it through my Big Shot, and you can see it cut the bottom part of the pouch, and those kind of came off. We'll cut that off anyway. And let's see, I don't know if you can see it. Let me take a look. There's a fold line, a score line, but it only comes up about to where I ended the cut. So we're going to extend that one in just a minute. And there's also a curved score line for the bottom of the pillow box. And as well, there's one on the other side. Alright, so we're going to cut the other piece in exactly... Alright, so now I have both pieces, but when you're making the pillow box, you only need one of these pieces to have the tabs on the side, because those will be the glue tabs. So only one of them needs to have them. So we're going to take the trimmer out and we're cutting them off of one side. So now what we'll do is we'll actually cut the tabs off of one. Alright, so this one we want to cut this tab off, so you would line this score line right up into that groove and go ahead and cut it off. And we'll repeat that on the other side of this one. Line that groove. I know it's hard to see on this paper, but line that right up on the groove for the cutter. Alright, so that piece is done. Alright, so for this other piece, we're just going to reinforce the score line. On both sides. Alright. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and fold and burnish the score lines on the one that has the tabs left. And at this time, go ahead and pinch your, if you haven't done so already, pinch the curved score line as well. And that will cause the box naturally to start curving a little bit. So this one doesn't have the tabs. We cut them off. We'll go ahead and just reinforce that curved score line on the bottom for the pillow box. Okay. Now let's go ahead and put our pillow box together, and for that I'm going to use some tear and tape. And we'll put tear and tape on each of these side tabs, right as close to the score line as we can. And you actually want to try to get it right down to that bottom. Sorry, you want to get it right down to the bottom. Sorry, I was off screen. Because that'll hold the bottom of your box together a little bit better. Go ahead and put some on the other side as well. And again, I'm going to cut it so I get some glue right down there at the bottom of the pillow part. Alright, so go ahead and remove the backing from one of the sides. And the way I did it was I held the tab down on one side, and I made sure if there was any glue hanging over, I went ahead and rolled it so that my pillow box didn't stick together on the inside, because the tear and tape is just about the same width as this tab is going to be. So I went ahead and held the tab like that, and I put the other piece in place with the pattern I wanted facing down, and I kind of just barely butted that up, making sure the top was even, and then I just folded the tab over. Okay, so I put that together, and I'm going to take the backing off of the other side, and we should be able to just fold that over. All right. Now this side looks the neatest to me, so I'm going to go ahead and use this side for my front, and I know where the bottom is. So let me bring back my cat. And because the pillow box is going to be curved a little bit, I'm just going to barely curve him so he'll follow the lines. And put a little bit of Tombow on him, and of course we want to put him right above where the curve of the bottom of the pillow box will be. Oops. And I slide him all over the place. There we go. Okay, now while he's drying, we're going to work on the top of our pillow box. And I'm going to try to flatten this out a lot because I'm going to actually put it into the punch to round the corners. To make the hole, we're going to use a 1 1/2 inch circular punch. And I'm just going to slide it on, make the top parallel to the top of my pouch, and kind of eyeball it to get it right in the middle. If you want to mark it and punch it in the middle, it's certainly go right ahead. But if you're mass producing these, then certainly eyeballing it should be pretty good. Now while I've got this out, I'm going to round the corners. We don't have a corner rounder punch anymore, but we do have the smaller corner rounder punch on the top of the envelope punch board, which works really well, but I wanted a bigger radius on mine. So I'm actually going to use this punch. And I flattened it out really well so I can actually from the inside slide this corner right into the slot where I'm going to punch the paper. So if you slide it from the inside, it'll be right in that slot. Here, let me just slide one from the outside for a minute. So you can see where that comes out. That's exactly where we want to push the paper through from the inside. Can you see that right there? Maybe the other side would be better. So right there, and that slot area is where we're going to push it in. So go ahead and push one of the corners in right into that slot and snug it down the best you can until this side and this side of the corner are both touching the punches. Hold that in there and just punch it. And that gives us a nice rounded edge. Just use that to get my piece out. And then we're going to do the same thing to the other corner. Snug that corner in the best we can. There we go. Make sure it's touching on this side and this side, that the corner is snug down. And punch. And I get those little pieces out right away, otherwise the punch starts getting bogged down. Alright, so we're done with that part of it. And let's go ahead and decorate. Now to save a little bit of time, I punched my sentiment, eat at your own risk, in pumpkin pie ink, and I actually used some of the tops of the bubbles of the potion bottles in a little bit of smoky slate to make it look a little more decorated and spooky. And I'm going to use that piece of black shimmer ribbon that we had, which is really pretty, and it makes a sparkly appearance on there, with some glue dots. I'll just fold it over. And then I'll stick it to the back of the tag. Not as high, not so high that it will cover the hole, because I'm going to use the hole to put the baker's twine into. So let me get my piece of baker's twine, and I fold it in half, stuck the loop from front to back, maybe, stuck the loop from front to back, and then pulled my two tails through the loop. Then I put one more glue dot onto the back of the tag because it's going to help hold the tag in place. And I put the top up right near the most narrow part of the handle, a little bit at an angle. And I stuck the glue dot down, and then from both sides I wrapped the tails around, this one this way, this one this way, and then tied a bow. Then I'll just trim the tails. And now we'll glue together the bottom of the pillow box. So to glue together the bottom, I like that if the front folds back, it looks much neater. So I fold the back one in first, and I just barely kind of fold the bottom down until it just hits to the score line of the front one. Now if you push it too far, don't worry, because you can always use your bone folder in the pouch to stick it back out again. But that helps me when I fold this part down to glue it. And then just go ahead and press the bone folder down. You can feel it against your fingers. Otherwise the other tab might push up a little bit and it won't adhere together because it won't touch together. Put the point down, get into the points, and just rub it back a couple of times until you know it's stuck. Okay, there you go. Now you could certainly open it up and slide your candy bars in, and this will fit some of those small Hershey's miniatures, some of the more flat candy bars, or M&Ms, or any small little Skittles you can put into there. And it makes a very cute little Halloween treat pouch. Let me bring back the other one that I made. The Spooky Cat stamp set and the Spooky Cat Designer Series paper, along with the cat punch. And Halloween isn't the only time you can use these. You certainly can use these for fall or also for Christmas. This cute little snowman comes from the Seasonal Chums, and these are actually tags. and it actually has the front and the back on the same stamp, and you cut it out and he becomes a little tag, as does the pumpkin and the reindeer, and they look so sweet. And so it make a very nice pouch for Christmas as well, or stocking stuffers. It's not too early to start thinking about that. So that's our project today, a Halloween treat pouch made with the Trim Your Stockings Thinlits die, Pillow Box die, and the Spooky Cat Designer Series paper, stamp set, and cat punch, and a little taste of Christmas with the Seasonal Tags Framelit set. But you certainly could use different paper and images to adapt this project to other seasons as well. So I hope you enjoyed the project and give it a try, and I hope you liked the video. I would appreciate a thumbs up. You're welcome to stop by my website at rejoiceandcreate.com for this project and other projects you might enjoy. And as always, I hope until we meet again that your days are blessed.